What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Off the Couch Boxing. I'm your host, Reckless Rexx Ruger. That, of course, is the Alexis Arguello puppet. We're back with another kick-ass episode, man, and our guest is here, so we are getting down to it immediately and chopping it up with the man himself. Let's get down to it. I'm pumped. Love this guy, man. Friend of the show. Had him on before, man. And we'll get him in here again, man. Just got to get his audio and his video up here. Randall, how are you, sir?
Good. You can hear me?
I can hear you and see you good, man. Yeah, I appreciate you doing this, man. It was about a year. It was about probably 6, 7, 8 months ago that we had you on before, man. Good to have you back, man. How's everything going?
Man, everything going good. Just working and maintaining.
Working and maintaining. That's all any of us can do, right? What else can we? I mean, so I want to ask you a really quick question, though, man, because a really hot topic right now in boxing is obviously the influence of Saudi Arabia. Now it seems like they're the ones really getting their hands into boxing right now, man. Putting on great cards and everything, man. Ultimately, it sounds like Turkey al-Sheikh really wants to take over and have everything kind of fall under one umbrella, man. You like that idea? Oh, there he is.
I'm happy.
Wait, I gotta get the other one of you out of here. Hold on.
Okay.
No, I was saying, and you might not have heard my question. It seems like Saudi Arabia is really becoming a major player in boxing now. You know what I mean? Turkey al-Sheikh has talked about wanting to get everybody under one umbrella, kind of take over all the boxing, the alphabet organizations. Ultimately, is that a good thing for boxing?
I mean, for the fighters, all they thinking about is the money.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
They're not really. It's all about business now. Fighting the best and all of that. They're not really thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just all about the money, and he got the money.
Yeah. I know those guys can get paid over there, man. An amazing card coming up this Saturday. Amazing.
I think Schofield just pulled out.
Did he really?
I think so. Yeah, somebody just sent that to me.
Oh, and that was one of the ones I was looking forward to the most.
Me too.
I mean, who's going to step in on that? Who's going to step in on that short of notice and take on?
I have no clue, but they supposed to be looking for an opponent.
Wow, that's a lot to ask of somebody, though. I mean, have you ever taken a fight on that short of notice? What are we talking about? 4 days, 3 days?
I've never did that, but I've took 2 week notices.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's probably about the outer limit, right? I mean, 2 weeks is even.
No, you know what? I did take a 3-day notice.
Did you?
I sure did. Yeah. Because they called me to fight Sean Porter.
Okay.
And I was leaving the gym that Tuesday to fight him that Saturday, I think it was. And I accepted the fight, and they turned it down before I got home and got my bags packed.
No kidding. Really?
No shit, for real.
And did you feel like, and despite you taking a fight on that short notice, how did you feel about taking it? Did you feel confident?
I was already in training.
Oh, okay.
I was already pretty much on weight and everything.
Okay. Well, now you competed and had belts at light welter and welterweight. So when you see a guy like Bud Crawford, man, you know what I mean, who I think most people would look at him and say, his best fighting was at those 2 weight divisions. You like the idea of him going all the way up to 168 for a Canelo fight? Does he have any chance in a matchup like that?
Yeah, he has a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, because he's still going to take his skill with the weight.
Right.
I mean, if anybody has a chance, he has a chance.
It's him. Yeah, it's him. I agree too. Yeah. If anybody could do it.
If anybody could do it, he could do it.
Yeah. When you were starting boxing, I'm always fascinated about, guys get in the ring. They obviously are blessed with physical skills. You were a tremendous puncher, man. But the mental side of the game, though, I think most people have a tendency to want to do everything they can in life to avoid confrontations, to avoid fights. That's why everybody doesn't climb into the ring. It's not everybody's not cut out to do it. The mental part of it, though, you know, I mean, you know, how do you harness all the mental stuff and all that baggage that, you know, that can sometimes be an obstacle? Obviously, there's fear, there's, you know, there's nervousness, there's not getting in there and being tight. You got to be loose, relaxed. How do you do all that?
That I, I used to fight so much as a kid.
Okay.
That was the easy part.
Okay.
And when I turned pro and I had my first pro fight, I didn't really think about uh beating the guy up real bad. I just really wanted to go in and fight, but I knew that I had to have some anger
Right.
in me to go out there and do what I needed to do. And
Right.
I'll never forget this when I was in the locker room getting ready for my first pro fight, and I was trying to think of something that's gonna anger me really bad. And I literally told myself that this guy just slapped your mama. And I'm telling you, the face I had when I went to the ring, everybody they used to say, man, can I get a picture of that face you had when you came to the ring? And I was like, nah, I can't do it over.
Yeah. Yeah.
I swear to God.
and and so let me ask you, man, with everything that you've done, man, 46-9, 39 knockouts, man, are you, in your opinion, a boxing Hall of Famer?
I mean, I don't really think about it because it's other people's opinion
It
of
is.
you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I never want to give people that kind of power to make me feel like I'm less than what I am. You know what I'm
Love that.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I never walked, even when I was champion, I never walked around like I was bigger than anybody else.
Yeah. Humble.
You know?
Yeah. That's
So
important. I
I
think
mean,
that is important.
it really don't matter to me. If they call me tomorrow, I'll say thank you. If they don't, hey, whatever.
But there are
I
people
see
in
it.
there, though, you know, and I only live 20 minutes from the Boxing Hall of Fame. So, I mean, you know, I'm up there quite a bit. I'm up there on Hall of Fame weekend. I've been up there for several events. There are people in there, and I won't mention any names, but there are people in there that, in my opinion, much, much, much less deserving. You know what I mean? There
Oh
are
yeah,
people
oh
in there,
yeah, oh
you know,
yeah.
there are people in there that can really get you scratching your head and saying, how is
Yeah,
that person in there and this person is not, you
but see
know?
that right there is why it don't bother me
Yeah,
because I know everything. I mean, nothing is real these days. Everything is politics and
I know.
likes.
I know. You're right.
If they like you, and y'all buddies, you in.
Yeah.
If they don't know you, if they don't talk to you, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, when you look back on your career, man, is there a name that's not on your resume that you wish was there? You know, was there a fight back in your fighting days that you really wanted and it just didn't happen?
Oh, it's a lot of fights that I really won that didn't freaking happen, and that kind of that's what kind of gave me the whatever with boxing, you
Yeah.
know, because like even when I was still active fighting, I never really took it serious because I always knew that it was a bunch of BS going on in the back, you
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
and fights that I knew I should have gotten, I never got. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like, hey, I fight. Hey, if I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. It's whatever.
Is uh, is the fact that you were a great knockout artist and had punching power, where does that come from? Obviously, like, you can train on a heavy bag, you can do exercises, you can improve your punching power, but is there a part of it that's hereditary? You know what I mean? Like, did you have a father that could punch really hard?
Um, well, I never seen my daddy fight, but I seen my mama fight and I seen my sister fight,
Okay.
and they kick ASS for real. Like I used to, like my sister used to fight so hard. I used to feel sorry for some of the people that she fought. Like
Yeah.
I literally used to get mad at her. Like, why? Why is you doing this?
Yeah. Yeah.
She was a monster.
Yeah. And now she never fought though, like professionally, did she?
She was the neighborhood king.
Just
The
dragging bitches,
neighbor
just
the
dragging other
ne-
bitches down the street.
She was the neighborhood king.
Yeah.
KO king.
Now, I did mention that you held titles at light welterweight and welterweight. Where do you feel like in your career was your prime weight division? Like, where did you feel like you did your best fighting? Welter?
uh, um, eh, I don't know. I think both of them was pretty
Yeah.
good, and
Yeah.
the timing wise, you
Yeah.
know, I think once I matured at 140 when I got with my other trainer, he kind of actually showed me so many new things, like to where I actually started to know exactly what I was doing in the ring. Like I was actually know when I throw my jab, I'm looking at my opponent and I'm watching reactions and I'm replying off of their reaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, he taught me a lot. You know, he taught me a lot.
Well, you're talking about your sister getting in a lot of fights, and you yourself mentioned that you got in a lot of fights. Do you think, and of course, we don't want to encourage kids to be getting into street fights out there, but if you do get in some scraps as a kid, that probably is a good way to find out, though, if you should get into boxing, right? I mean, you got to have some kind of
Oh yeah, yeah.
a rough skill
That's
set.
that's what led me to the gym, because the thing was I would fight for anything.
Yeah,
You know, I would fight for anything. If a guy walked by and looked at me funny,
yeah.
I just felt like he wanted to fight, and
Oh
I
no.
would challenge him. I would throw my hands up like, "Hey, what's going on? You want to
Yeah,
do something?" If they threw their hands back up, I'm down there on top of them.
it was on. Yeah,
It was
yeah,
on,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
But as I got older, uh, uh, the game changed.
yeah.
Wasn't nobody taking no ass whoopings no more. They would go
Right.
get a gun and come back
Yeah,
and shoot you.
yeah, yeah.
So and I knew my temper, and I knew where I was. So I just had to find a way that I could like change the direction of my energy.
Right, right.
Like I could go to the gym, actually kick somebody ass, and go back home
Not get in trouble. Right, right.
and
Yeah,
not get in trouble.
yeah.
And that was the whole thing right there.
But I imagine though, man, I imagine though that having that knockout power, I know there's a lot of guys who get in the ring and they say if the knockout comes, but they don't go looking for it. But sometimes when you don't go looking for it or you're not able to get it, and we're still seeing this now, you get fucked on the scorecards though, man. You know what I mean? Like it's like when you leave it in judges' hands like that, man.
I want it, and I'm looking for
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think in today's boxing game, we're still seeing awful scorecards sometimes. I think it's an advantage when you can knock guys out, man. And obviously, it's always a good thing when you can knock a guy out, man. But I think scoring nowadays is just sometimes it baffles me.
Yeah, man,
It's crazy.
it's bad. It's bad. It's
It
bad.
really makes the sport look like they don't have their act together.
And you know what? You could actually look at a fight and tell when somebody's one of the judges are on the take,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's messed up.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Now getting back to this news here, because you're kind of breaking this news here on my podcast, because I'm supposed to be up on this stuff, and I'm not even up on. I didn't know about the Shakur. I didn't know about the Shakur Floyd Schofield fight, and it boggles my mind that they will actually try to go out and get somebody on this short of notice. Now, I don't know whether they'll be successful or not, but there might be somebody out there that'll take a chance.
Oh no, they're gonna find somebody.
Especially since it's Shakur, because if someone can step in on that day's a few days notice and knock off a guy like Shakur, that's big.
Hey, it happens. It happens on the lower level. Way. I mean,
Yeah,
I've seen guys come in the day of
yeah, yeah.
and fill in.
And especially if you're stepping in against a Shakur Stevenson. I mean, yeah, some guy,
Hey,
if somebody
the
if somebody,
money, the
yeah, if
money,
somebody, if
the
somebody calls
money,
you up, man, and I mean, a lot of guys out there are probably going to say, I got nothing to lose,
and they're gonna pay. They're gonna pay good, so
and it's
they'll
gonna,
find
yeah,
somebody.
yeah,
They
it's good.
definitely will find somebody.
Now, with all these guys right now who all have high opinions of themselves, everybody will get on there and say that they're the face of boxing. I'm the face of boxing. There's a lot of, there's a lot of tweeting. There's a lot of posting. There's a lot of bravado. There's a lot of guys all claiming to be the top dog in the sport. When you look at boxing right now, man, who do you think is the face of boxing right now? Who's that top dog right now?
I think it's Terrence Crawford.
It's Bud. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Even over Canelo.
I like Canelo, but when you scared to fight a guy, you can't be the face.
And you're referring to him not fighting David Benavidez.
Of course,
Yeah.
man. I
Yeah.
mean, let me tell you, fights I knew would be bad for me. If a guy called my name and said my name, I'm gonna fight him regardless, win, lose, or draw.
Yeah. You almost have to. You almost have
I
to, right?
mean,
The
come
man.
on,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Is,
crazy.
is there any fights out there? And I know we're going to see a stacked card this coming up Saturday, but are there any fights out there, that you would like to see that should be made? Obviously, hopefully we're going to get to see Bud and Canelo. We're going to get to see some great ones coming up this Saturday. Better Biev and Bivol are going to run it back
I want
again.
to see. I want to see Jerron Ennis fight Virgil Ortiz.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I want to see Jerron Ennis fight somebody for real.
Yeah, yeah. And now, why do you think a guy like him, a Philadelphia fighter, trained by his father, awesome skill set, but he just one thing that bugs me is every time I watch fights with him, they're still referring to him as this young up and coming prospect. The guy's got 31 fucking fights, for God's sake. He's not a prospect.
Hey, I don't see it. I mean, a lot of people are high on him. I don't see it. You know who I see? I see Mike Jones all over again.
A guy you fought.
Yeah.
A guy you fought and knocked out.
Ain't nobody coming out of Philly but Bernard Hopkins.
A guy that you fought, Mike Jones, knocked out and pretty late in your career as well, in a fight that really nobody gave you a chance in.
I did. I told all my friends, give me their money.
Yeah.
When we got the fight signed, I said I was gonna knock him out. I knew if I hit him, I was gonna knock him out.
Are there any fights on your resume that you that you look back on, and you don't have a lot of losses, obviously, but when you look back, are there any that you either are convinced that you won but didn't get the decision? Do you feel like you were on the short end of the stick in any of those that that should have gone your way?
my Herman and Gojo, Ishe Smith, yeah, those about the only two really.
Yeah. All the rest of them you were.
All the rest of them I lost.
Yeah. which is not an easy thing to admit, I would imagine. You know what I mean? But
hey, somebody gonna win, somebody gonna lose.
Yeah,
I win today, I may lose tomorrow. But guess what? I get to come back and try it all over again.
And now, was it hard for you because a lot of fighters, obviously you guys coming into the ring, you carry yourselves a certain way, you know what I mean? There's a lot of pride involved in fighting, mano a mano, you know what I mean? Nobody wants to back down. Nobody wants to lose. Was it hard for you to walk away from boxing?
No.
Was it hard for you to walk away from boxing with your last fight being a loss? Did that bother you on any level? Because your last fight, if I remember, was Jeff Horn, correct?
Yeah. And the thing was, I could have went up to 154 pounds.
Yeah.
But nobody was gonna let me fight their fighters at 154.
Yeah.
Nobody was gonna give me a shot at 154. So I mean, it was easy for me to say, "Oh well, goodbye," because I wasn't gonna kill myself. They would have still been giving me fights at 147,
Yeah.
knowing that it would have killed me to make the weight. When I fought Jeff Horn, I I woke up that morning, went for a jog, came back to make that weight. I fainted.
Wow. So you were killing yourself to make 147.
I literally fainted that morning. And my team, they got me back together, and I still went ahead and weighed in.
And
No
so how much
bullshit.
and so how much weight were you cutting back then? Like what was your walking around weight around those days?
My walk around weight was literally like 157, 158.
Okay.
But I wasn't strong.
Right.
I wasn't strong. You know what I'm saying? I could make the weight, but I wasn't strong. Once I got down to like 150, 149, it was hard.
Yeah.
Even with the Japanese kid I fought in Korea,
Yeah.
I felt it right there first.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
And
know,
that's hard. And I mean that's hard, man, because you got to be fighting. You got to be fighting at a weight you're comfortable at, but you got to feel healthy and you got to feel strong. You know what I mean? That's a
yeah.
big part of it.
And after the Jeff Horn fight, I was kind of scared because that ain't never happened to me before.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
never happened to me before because I figured like, okay, I, I know I feel bad right now, but I know once I weigh in and I get my liquids and I get my food and everything inside of me, you know, I should feel a little better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then my legs wasn't there, and I just felt empty inside. But that's not the first time. See, a lot of these guys they had like um conditioners and guys that maintain their eating and all
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
science part.
Right.
I never had that.
Yeah.
Only time I know when it's time for me to leave a weight class is when I feel like that.
Yeah.
And it happened to me. It happened to me in the Juan Urango fight. That's how I knew it was time for me to leave that weight class.
Yep.
And it happened to me. It happened to me in the Jeff Horn fight. And I knew I wasn't gonna go back to that weight no more because shit, it almost killed me.
And now, when you say you were going to go up to 154, but nobody was going to sign up their fighters to fight with you, man. Like, why do you think that is? Do you think that they thought you would be even more dangerous and a more devastating puncher?
I'm not making this shit up. I'm telling you what I heard from the person. Well, I got a lot of friends. I got a lot of friends in boxing, and a lot of people was trying to help me. A lot of people was trying to help me. A lot of people wasn't trying to help me.
Right.
But my friends that I had in boxing, they was trying to help me, and I heard from one of the biggest mouths in boxing that they would love to help me, but if they put me in with one of their fighters, one of their young fighters, and I beat them, they can't do nothing else with them.
Right.
So they wasn't gonna take that chance of putting me in with those fighters. And I had people call Bob Arum, I had people call Golden Boy, and they all hung up the phone.
Do you feel like at 154 pounds, because you wouldn't have had to kill yourself to make such weight, the lower weights, do you feel like your power would have translated and you would have been
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I would
Hell
imagine.
yeah.
I would imagine you already with that power and at a comfortable weight would be very devastating.
Comfortable at 140, I was still sparring junior middleweight.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So you could obviously take punches from those bigger guys.
I was sparring with junior middleweights at 140 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. And so, but I like the fact that you're mentally okay with ending your career on a loss, because I feel like that would stick in a lot of guys' craw. You know what I mean? Where guys would want to come back and be like, I'm not going to go out like that. I'm going to come back and I'm at least going to have a win and then ride off into the sunset.
You know, I've had
I'm not knocking you, by the way. I'm saying that I think that that's a fucking like that shows a lot of mental strength because I think a lot of
oh
guys,
yeah, 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 yeah,
it's like Tyson Fury now is telling us he's going to retire. I don't buy it. I don't think he's going to lose twice to Usyk and just ride off into the sunset. I don't think we've seen the last of him. He just
Damn.
doesn't.
I
He
think
just doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that can just walk away after 2 straight losses and be okay with it.
no, I think he's gonna walk away.
You do?
Yeah, I think he's gonna walk away.
I think he probably should. I mean, he's got 6 kids. Dude, what more does he have to do? He's got lots of money.
I think it's a real head game with him to get himself ready for this shit now because I mean he has a lot of money right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? He has a lot of money right now, and he I mean he got his family. You know, I think he's probably done.
yeah. And I hope that he is. I hope that he goes off and he does it. He does
I mean, he
enjoy
may
his
come.
life.
He may come back for a Jake Paul circus show. Not saying that he will fight Jake Paul, but he probably will find an opponent to come back and do a little song and dance with. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
nothing too serious.
I'm glad you brought up the Jake Paul fights, though, man. I may have asked you this when we talked a few months ago, man. But do you like those? Do you think they do a good thing for boxing, or are you not a fan of those kind of
I
fights?
mean, I don't think it does nothing for boxing, but um, it's strictly entertaining.
Yeah.
That's it. Just a show. That's all.
But when you
No.
see guys able to get in there with Jake Paul and get big, huge fucking paydays, man, and there's guys that are slaving away in gyms from the age of 8, 9, 10 years old, wanting to get those shots, and then you see a guy like him just kind of come into boxing and just kind of be able to just pave his own way. It's got to bother guys that have been grinding for years.
They ain't grinding. They ain't grinding. They sitting back, trying to pick and choose who they fighting. You know, and
Yeah,
these are champions. The
right,
champions are not making the money you think they making.
right.
You know what I'm saying? They not making the money you think they making, but they sitting back trying to pick their opponents, trying to pick the softest guy, but they want to make all the money and they're not getting it. And Jake Paul is killing the game.
I mean, but do you
Killing
think
it.
he is killing the game? But do you think, though, man? I mean, like, what did you think a couple months ago when we see Jake Paul defeat Mike Tyson?
Hey,
I mean, can this
Mike
really
Tyson
fucking happen? It almost destroyed my whole
Mike
childhood,
Tyson
champ.
Mike Tyson made $20 million.
I know he did. I know.
$20 million. God bless him.
But do we really believe, though, because, in the months leading up to that fight, there were lots of training videos, and Mike looked fucking
Yeah,
incredible. And then
yeah,
on the night,
yeah,
he didn't look
yeah.
he didn't look the same way.
Hey, we know what it is.
Yeah,
We can act like we don't know what it is, but we
we
know
do.
what it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's more or less Jake is kind of paying for these dance partners to kind of,
Hey,
his resume a little bit, I think.
that's just like when Mike Tyson and Roy Jones did their little exhibition.
Yep.
Mike
Yeah.
Tyson never tried to hit him in the head.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He would hit him to the body, but he never tried to hit him to the head.
Well, then why don't these guys just get together and just meet at a gym and just fuck around and spar a little bit, though? I know they want to make money or whatever, man, but do you think it's right that they take the public's money, though? I mean, for a fight like that.
I mean, they not actually making you watch it,
That's true. That's true. Good point. Great point.
because I got my remote in my hand
Yeah.
and I don't watch half of the shit they put on out there.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't watch that shit. My friends be calling me watching the fight. Nope.
Yep. Nope. Yeah. Not that one anyway. Now,
Exactly.
now, I'm glad you brought up watching boxing, though. Are there guys out there right now in the sport that you will go out of your way to watch? Like if they're gonna fight,
I
do
like-
you say, "Yeah, hey, I gotta watch him."
I like Abdullah Mason.
Oh, great fighter. What a great talent.
I like Abdullah Mason.
Yeah, phenomenal.
And oh shit. Hold on. Let me open it back up. Yeah. And I mean, Bud fight, I'm tuning in.
Yeah. Abdullah Mason, though,
No,
man, really seems like he's got the goods. He's a special talent.
man. And you know what I like about him? He is ready for Keyshawn,
Yeah.
Shakur. He ain't got no friends.
Yeah. Yeah. That's sometimes a
All these
good thing.
guys, all these guys talking about, oh, I'm not gonna fight him because we friends. Ain't no friends, man. Ain't no friends in boxing.
Yeah.
If me and you in the same weight class, guess what?
Yeah.
We gonna be friends later, but we gonna fight.
Well, I'm glad you threw Keyshawn's name out there. He just fought last Friday night, man. Like, what do you make of his talents? He's obviously a guy right now that's really angling for some big fights. He's dropping Tank's
I'm
name a
not.
lot. He's dropping
I'm not.
Tiafimo's name a lot.
I'm not. I'm not impressed yet.
Not impressed yet. Okay.
Not impressed yet.
And so when you say you're not impressed, like what are the holes that you see in his game that he needs to tighten up? You obviously see something that is missing.
I mean, he has a lot of advantages with the opponents that they picking for him.
Yeah.
You know, you could tell he's been guided
Yeah.
safely.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Obviously,
saying?
obviously that belt he won Friday night, man. They found the WBO champion. He's the smallest of all the champions. I mean, Keyshawn was much bigger than him.
Yeah. So I mean, I just don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wait till I just sit back and wait till it get real because right now it's not real yet.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. And so with that being said, man, who would you say, obviously that 135-pound division is fucking loaded, man. We just mentioned Mason and Keyshawn Davis among a couple names or whatever. But out of that division alone, specifically, 135 is one of the hottest divisions in boxing, man. Who's ultimately going to step out of that division and be the big fish?
I think Abdullah Mason is gonna be the man.
Ultimately, it'll be him when
Abdullah Mason gonna be the man. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? And now, do you believe Tank when Tank says that after 2025 he's all done boxing?
I mean, we just gotta wait and see.
Do you think his resume, though, if he walks away after a couple more fights, is his resume as good as it should be, or are there guys that he needs to see before he walks away from the sport?
I mean, it's like this. I think Tank will fight these guys, but these guys, they screaming Tank's name, but they want all this money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you so confident that you could beat this guy, you ain't negotiating at the table, you negotiating in the ring.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Cause if you made just say you getting $2 million, if you beat him, you just up yourself to 5 or 10.
Now you're the shot caller. Yeah. Exactly.
Now you're the shot caller.
Yeah. You got to become the you're right. You got to become the A side. You got to become the A side. You got to go take the A side.
These guys is smoke and mirrors. They talk all that talk, but they not about that action.
And I'm glad you said that because obviously there are a lot of guys now, and I mentioned it a couple minutes ago, that go on Twitter, that go on social media, they bark, they holler at each other, they talk a lot of shit or whatever, man. But are you kind of glad back in your day that there wasn't the internet, wasn't so prevalent? Because good fights were getting made back in your day. Now guys almost seem like they're content to kind of talk a lot on social media.
See, back in my day, you went to the guy's face and told him what it was.
Yeah.
Now they can just get on the phone and type some shit on the phone and post it and all that.
Yeah.
Nah. And then when you see them face to face, they hugging and kissing.
Yeah, I know that's
man. Come on with that, man.
And now we do see a lot of boxers who are trained by their own fathers. You know what I mean? Sometimes the fathers almost seem like they're living vicariously through the son, or that they want a lot of the spotlight. Do you like that that father-son combination, man, or do you think that that sometimes that line gets blurred a little bit?
I mean, when it's fluid and it's working and it's not a clown show, I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah,
I like it. I
yeah.
like it. But when it starts getting stupid and a bunch of nonsense, nah, I ain't for it.
Yeah.
I ain't for it.
Because sometimes it seems like because sometimes like it seems like that's a great relationship. You know what I mean? If you can be trained by your
Oh
father,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
who's gonna
yeah,
know
yeah,
you? Who's
yeah.
gonna know you better than your own daddy? You know what I mean? Like that's a nice
Exactly.
relationship to have.
Exactly.
But sometimes
Exactly.
these fathers start to insert themselves a little too much. You know what I mean?
And it just becomes a clown show.
It almost becomes a circus. It really does.
Yeah,
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 it does.
yeah.
And so you yourself now, man, you've been away from the sport for a while, man. Do you ever get the itch to have any involvement at all in boxing, training, promoting, maybe even coming back for some exhibition fights yourself?
I would. They don't want to do no exhibition with me.
It'd be full on fights.
Yeah, they don't want to do no exhibition with me. They don't want to do nothing with me.
Nobody wants to get knocked out.
They think I'm not gonna play fair.
I mean, but like, but has it entered your mind though at all to come back and attempt to fight on any level, or are you
I
content
mean,
being retired?
man, they've come around and said things, but nothing ever materializes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Now, what about like a potential? I mean, like obviously it's a long shot. Obviously, Jake Paul kind of punches his own ticket, man. But what if you were on a list of guys that Jake Paul was going to call out, man? Would that bring you out of retirement? A Jake Paul type fight, even though you don't like those kind of fights?
I mean, if he's saying the right thing, then yeah, of course.
Yeah, because it seems like
I have to get motivated.
it seems like though. I mean, but it seems like man, guys do make a lot of money when they fight him. I
Oh
mean, that's
yeah,
without a
yeah,
doubt.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
without a
yeah,
doubt.
yeah.
I mean, you're going to get paid, man. But it seems like he likes
Yeah.
to go out because it does seem like his MO is going out and getting guys that have been retired for a while, but were very successful, and he drags them back in and he gets them into a ring. You know what I mean? Like Tyron Woodley and like Nate Diaz and then Mike Tyson.
Well, I don't know what the stipulations are. That's probably where it will all go downhill because I'm not gonna play the game as good as they do it. I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna be me. Now, if you
Yeah.
could get out the way, if you could get out the way of me being me, then hey, it's all good.
Who was the one guy when you were growing up, man, that made you want to be a boxer, man, that you were watching on TV?
Nobody.
Nobody?
Mm-mm.
There wasn't a guy that
I
you
you
there's not a
know,
guy there's not a guy that you idolized when you were coming up? No?
I met my heroes when I got in the gym.
Okay. And who were they?
And you know who these guys was? Freddie Pendleton,
Okay.
Jose Revolta,
Okay.
Uriah Grant,
Okay.
um, Sugar Baby Rojas,
Okay.
who else, man? I met so many
And now these
guys
guys,
when I
these guys you're naming are not exactly household names, man. So why are they guys that you looked up to? I mean, was it just their work ethic and their
be-
determination?
because I could touch them.
Yeah,
I'm like I like Sugar Ray Leonard, but he wasn't around me.
you couldn't get at them.
So
Right.
yeah, I mean
Right.
I can't idolize somebody I can't talk to.
That's a great point, champ. That's a great point. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like you're right. Some of these guys are so out of our reach that we can't.
I
we
mean,
can't connect with them.
nah, that ain't me.
You want a guy? Yeah, I mean, you
These-
want a guy that you can connect with, man, who doesn't think he's better than you.
oh man, these guys used to take me home from the gym.
Yeah, down to earth. Yeah.
I was 14 years old. They used to take me home from the gym.
Yeah. And now, when you got into boxing and you first went into a boxing gym, man, like, was it love at first sight, or did it take you a while to warm up to it?
Oh no, it was on.
It was
It was
on.
on. My first day in the gym, I learned how to jab and throw a right hand. My second day in the gym, I was sparring with somebody that had 5 fights already.
Wow. So you were getting on the fast track.
And
Yeah.
that is no bull job. My second day in the gym, I was sparring with somebody that had 5 fights already, and they wasn't from our gym. They came over to our gym from another gym, and I was sparring somebody that had 5 fights already.
And now, forgive me for not knowing this. I don't have it here in my notes. But how long of an amateur career did you have?
I had 19 amateur fights.
So that's not a lot. That's not a lot.
I was like 4 and 15.
So you didn't even really do great in the amateurs.
I never trained.
Yeah. Yeah. At least
My
you're
trainer would call me and be like, "We got fights Friday, next week Friday." So I come in Monday, train till Friday.
so just like a week. You just sharpen up your skills for
Yeah,
a
that's
week.
it. That's it. That's it.
And now, obviously, man, you know, well, I'll ask you this: like, when you got to the pros, what was the training like? You didn't still do it the same way, did you?
Nah, cause I was with Freddie Pendleton and I was
Yeah.
with Albert Annie, so it got a little different. But
I imagine those guys would. I imagine those guys weren't giving you the advice of just train for a week and go in there.
Oh hell no, Freddie would be on my back, like really be on my back.
But it's got to
Big
be
time.
but it's got to be a nice feather in your cap, though, to have that knockout power, though, because it is a nice weapon to have, man. Because it's like Deontay Wilder said. You know what I mean? He only has to just find your chin and be perfect for a couple seconds. You know what I mean? You got to be.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not a big puncher, I mean, you don't have that. You got to be tactful the whole fight through. You know what I mean? Like,
But
you've got the ability to turn someone's lights out quickly.
This is gonna flip you out right here, because at first the power was exciting,
Yeah.
but there came after a while when I said, you know what, they training for my power.
Yeah.
I need to change up a little bit, and I knew, and I could box like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
If I like in the gym, my trainer, we boxing. I'm talking about boxing the shit out of people.
Yeah.
But in the fight, he never wanted me to do it.
Really?
So like I think it was after the Hurtado loss, I was like, we have to change up. We have to start boxing a lot more.
Yeah.
Because even in that fight, all I had to do was back up a little bit and move around the ring a little more instead of just coming forward.
Right.
You know, the fight could have been a lot different.
What do you feel like
Well,
when you look back on your skill set? What do you feel like? Obviously, people remember you knocking out a lot of people with that tremendous right hand, but maybe your
but I
answer will be
didn't.
different, though. You know what I mean?
Like I didn't start to like really learn what I was doing until after the Cotto fight.
Okay. Okay.
Because my trainer that I got with after the Cotto fight, like literally took me out of the ring for a whole year to when he would say take me back to school. And the things he had me doing, I mean, I was learning boxing all over again.
On the job training. Yeah.
On the job training.
Yeah.
I'm talking about all the way back to putting a chair in the ring and have you circling around a goddamn chair.
Yeah. Yeah. Right back to the beginning.
Back to elementary.
Back to the basics. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now what's the one fight where, because I think people always remember you knocking people out and you being the hard puncher, but is there somebody on your resume who is the guy that hit you the hardest?
I never been hit that hard in a fight, but in sparring, Richard Gutierrez, that dude hit hard in the gym.
Yeah.
Sparring.
Yeah.
Oh man. But I love sparring with him though, because I knew if he hit me, it was gonna hurt.
And now you mentioned the Cotto fight, and then kind of going back to the drawing board, man. Do you feel like that's the fight like where you feel like you learned the most? Is there a fight where you feel like you grew and learned?
That fight let me know that I was all the way down to zero.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys be like, "Oh, my blackness gonna kick in,
Yeah.
and I should be all right." No, the blackness didn't kick in.
Oh. It let you down.
It didn't kick in that night. And yeah, I just told myself either I'm gonna find a real trainer or I'm gonna leave it alone, because if you didn't notice, my trainer that I have for that fight barely spoke any English.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's
You
tough.
know?
That's tough. Yeah.
And the only thing he was basically instructions he was giving me was jab, 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 jab. And
Yeah.
it just wasn't my night that night.
Well, obviously, I mentioned earlier, your right hand. I think people might automatically go to that and think that's your best weapon, but maybe you have a different answer, man. Like, what did you feel like out of all your skill set, like was your best attribute?
I think my left hook was better than my right hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But everybody always focused on the right hand.
Yeah. Well, you're dropping everybody with it, so
yeah, and they tagged me with the Tommy Hearn,
Yeah.
and all that right there. And I mean, it just as soon as you get a trainer, the first thing they want you to do is they want you to try to land the right hand instead of trying to build up all your other attributes. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, listen, champ, I know you had a long day. You're still in the fucking work uniform. Haven't even gotten any grub in yet. Here you are chopping it up with me, man. So, man, you're a friend of the show, man. I always love chopping it up with you, man. Thanks for doing it, man.
All you got to do is call me. And
I know.
We get together and we're going to make it happen.
I love it, man. Thanks, champ. I really enjoyed talking to you, man. Thanks, man. And we'll do it again soon, brother.
Okay. Right. Just hit me up. That's all.
All right.
Later, have brother. A good one.
You too, my man.
All
Thank you. There he goes, folks. The legendary Randall Knockout King Bailey. That's right, the KO King. And when you get a nickname like that in the fight game, man, that's because you are doing one thing and one thing only, knocking motherfuckers out. Agree with me, Alexis Arguello? He's got nothing to say. He's speechless. We are in the presence of greatness. The great Randall Knockout King Bailey, 46, 9-1, 39 of them coming by way of knockout, man. Two division champion, WBO light welterweight champion, 99 to 2000, IBF welterweight champion in 2012, man. The man has done it and done it at a high level, man. And always a friend of the show, man. Love talking to my man, Randall Bailey, man. Hope you guys enjoyed that episode as much as I enjoyed chopping it up with Randall KO King Bailey. And we will chop it up again with him, man. And let me remind you, before I get out of here, let me get my shameless plugs in. Make sure to like and follow Off the Couch Boxing on Facebook. And if you're here watching right now, you're in the right place for the best boxing conversations. We get raw and real right here on Off the Couch Boxing. Like, subscribe, smash that notification button, man. Stay tapped in. This is where it goes down. The best boxing content on the planet, man, for real, down-to-earth, chopping it up with your favorite legends, luminaries, champions, and rising stars of the fight game. Keep it right here and stay tapped in with us. And remember, if you want to be a champion, you got to roll with the champs.